Hello and welcome to Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. My name is Teresa. I'd like to welcome you to my backyard on this beautiful day. It looks like we have some rain trying to build up, and since it's autumn, it's time to start gathering comfrey to make a big batch of comfrey oil. Now, unfortunately, most people don't know that, yes, a lot of people make comfrey oil with just the leaves. I don't, because it needs to be equal parts roots, comfrey roots, and the leaves as well. So, unfortunately, with this being said, there are some casualties of the comfrey plants. It's hard to do, but it has to happen. And the comfrey in this raised bed this year, also known as Tony's raised bed, because she was so gracious to donate the funds so I could make my cinder block raised bed. They do need to be thinned out because they just grew like crazy. And so let's get started. This is just the first part of this long process. Okay, we got to figure out which ones are going to be sacrificed to, so that they can spread even more next year. Now, what I was going to say is when you're harvesting your comfrey, especially in autumn and after this ungodly hot year we've had, and dry, all these dry comfrey leaves, save them. Put them in your compost pile. It will absolutely make some amazing compost. And of course I have my bucket here ready for them to go in. I need to clean this bed up. It looks rough. This one, not this one, unfortunately. Oh, look at those beautiful roots. And what you're going to do, of course, is clean them up. Get all the bad looking leaves off of them, because you can't use those in salve. Well, in making your comfrey oil. Unfortunately, it's a happy day, but it's tender sweet in a way, because unfortunately the plant has to be sacrificed in order to make the proper medicine. And watch it, the roots break off easy, and any roots left in the ground will definitely sprout back up. Okay, there's one. And we'll go down here to the other end where it's real concentrated. I'm sorry, when I get to working, I don't think to talk. I'm used to being fairly silent. What I'll do is I'll wash the root system very well because you don't want any soil on it. And I'll show you once I get it all washed and everything. And to think this is 1 year's growth. They have been very happy in this bed. I'm gonna harvest one more to get the root. Oh my gracious. It smells so wonderful. And to think this was a little small transplant that I was blessed with earlier this year. And want to thank Tom for the plants. Tom for the comfrey plants, and Miss Tony for donating the funds for being able to build my raised bed. Now, I'm going to wash these roots very well, go through the leaves very well. I'm going to clean this bed up here soon. I got to be careful because I got to sprinkle my echinacea seeds and my black-eyed Susan seeds, clean it all up, get it ready for winter. And now, the spent leaves and the bad leaves, of the comfrey, I'm going to be putting in my horse manure compost pile, which is only going to add even more nutrients. Sorry, I didn't even think about raising the camera back up. Now, I have way bigger comfrey plants up in my main bed, and I'm going to gather a bunch of leaves from them, and I'll bring you back as soon as I get ready to make the oil and show you how to chop it up. And hold on a minute, I apologize for that. There's not a day goes by those people over there aren't fussing and cussing about something, and I apologize. I'm trying to make sure that it doesn't end up on video. I'm going to pause the video here. I'm going to go harvest leaves because I don't want y'all to have to hear this crap that I have to hear. And I'll bring you back after a while. Okay, welcome back. Sorry about the noise. I've been trying to let my leaves wilt down a little bit more. Do not worry about your ends turning brown. It's just oxidation. Nothing is wrong with that. And I have my comfrey leaves and also my comfrey root. My comfrey root is the hardest of all to get clean. And the best thing I can say to use is a baby bottle brush. And that way you can break the roots apart and scrub all up all down the roots. Here. All down the roots, up in the crevices, because you want to make sure that you get all the dirt off of it. And especially up here where the crowns are, make sure that there's no soft, squishy plant material left. Make sure you knock all that off as well. But you want your roots to be as clean as possible. Now, when buying Comfrey Oil, you want to make sure that not only leaves but roots are used. If people say that they grow their own comfrey and they show their plants and the plants don't get any smaller, only larger, they're not using their own comfrey. Because unfortunately, as you see here, plants have to be sacrificed in order to make Comfrey Oil. Traditional Comfrey Oil, let's say that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, and yes, I use the stalks as well. As long as they are in good shape, you want as small pieces as possible. That way the oil can get in and do its job. Now I'm going to be doing, oh, there's a brown piece I missed. I'm going to be using a double boiler. This is my top section, and it is absolutely clean and sanitized and dry. And you want to cut your pieces in as small as possible, or your leaves, I mean, in smallest possible pieces. That way the oil doesn't have to work as hard, and the plant material will break up a whole lot easier and release all of its medicinal benefits. Now, if you don't have a double boiler, you can use a crock pot. I would encourage using a crock pot that has the insert. That way, if your oil gets too hot, or gets close to being too hot, you can pull the insert out. And I would start on the warm level, or warm setting, on your crock pot. And I'm just going to continue to cut the leaves up, and I'll be adding the roots here next. They take longer because I want to make sure that they are in small pieces. Like I said, I want to make sure that the oil doesn't have to work too hard to get into the plant material. And another thing that you're going to need, because it's invaluable, is a candy thermometer. And that way you can keep an eye on the temperature of your oil. And that way it doesn't get too hot. Because the last thing I want to do, or you want to do, is ruin a whole batch of oil. And now that it's autumn, the energy of the plant has started to go back down into the roots, and this is when you really want to make anything pertaining to any oils or anything pertaining to roots. And you want to cut your roots up into as small pieces as possible. I like to pick my leaves in morning time and do my oil at night, because I like my plant material, especially the leaves, to excuse me, wilt down some and release the medicine of the leaves will condense in the leaves, but the moisture will evaporate. And believe me, when you're making oil, moisture is not your friend, especially water. Because the moisture content is what can make your oil go rancid faster. Now, you can add vitamin E drops. That will also help with the preserving of your oil. And you're just going to keep on cutting them up. Let's see if I can go faster with mine. But you're going to continue to keep cutting your roots up as small as possible. And also, a warning, this is definitely to be used externally, not internally. And some people will have a problem with Comfrey, and they could have an allergic reaction. So if you have sensitive skin, it might be best to wear some latex and powder-free gloves while cutting this up. That way you don't have an allergic reaction. Well, as you can see, I have a whole lot of roots to cut up. I'm not going to make y'all sit all the way through that. I'll bring you back here in a little bit as soon as I'm done. I am finally done with chopping up all those roots. That was a labor of love. Now I'm going to get them into my pan. I am beyond thankful for this plant material, and this is going to be one of a series of 4 making medicinal oils to get ready for salve making. I don't want to waste anything, because that plant material is precious. And there is my pot, and I'm going to get it set up over on the stove, and I will bring you back as soon as I do. Now this is what I was talking about, a candy thermometer, so that you can see that it doesn't get, that your oil does not get over 140 degrees. This is just an El Cheapo. You can get a whole lot more fancier, but this works just as well. Alright, I'll bring you back here in just a bit. Okay, here's my pot of water. And I'm going to set my second pot in, and I'm going to start my flame. And it's time to get the oil. And this, like I said, it's just 100%. Make sure you read the label that it's 100% olive oil. This is not extra virgin olive oil, because extra virgin olive oil can go rancid really fast. And I was blessed to be able to get this big double boiler many years ago at an antique store, and I would love to have another one. That way I can do 2 oils at once. Okay, and I forgot to grab my spoon, so I'll be right back. Okay, I've added a little more water to my bottom pot. This is going to be some really good, strong Comfrey oil. Like I said, once your water comes up to heat, you're going to have to be really careful and adjust it until you get it to that perfect stage of where it stays at one single temperature. Hold on, I'll be right back. Where did it go to? Oh, there they are. Things are trying to hide from me tonight. And what I use is I'll use a saucer, and that way when I put my spoon on it, any oil that gathers on it, I can pour it back into the pot. Now, of course, your plant material is going to break down a whole lot more, and I'm going to keep the lid off of it so that any moisture from the plant material can evaporate out. And as I wait for it to heat up, I'll bring you back once it starts getting to the right temperature. Okay, my Comfrey oil is done. It got late last night and I forgot to cut the camera back on, but it has steeped overnight. I've heated it up just a little bit to make it strain easier and flow a little easier. It is done. You'll know when, and I noticed I tap danced all around but never said the temperature that I keep my oil at, 185. I don't like to go over 185. Sorry about that. Apparently I was just way too tired yesterday. Alright, what we're going to do is I'm going to take the oil. I have a very large funnel, and this is a very nice strainer. Now, I double strain mine. The first strain will be get most of all the bigger plant material out. I thought it was a crack in there. Whew. Okay, now your jars have to be absolutely dry. You want no moisture in it at all. Your funnel, everything has to be dry. Now, I also wanted to say, most people will disagree with my method of making comfrey oil. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Most people want to use dry. I like to use fresh. I just let it wilt so most of the moisture has evaporated out. And plus, while it's heating, it will evaporate out even more. And you're going to want to take a ladle, make sure there's no ants on it. And ladle it in. And I'm going to tell you, it smells wonderful. And you can definitely, it might not be really dark, but you can definitely smell the comfrey in it. This is some really good, strong smelling comfrey oil. And that is exactly what you want. Beautiful color. And it takes a while for it to strain. Okay, I'll set that in. And this is going to be the final jar, the second straining. Now, my preservative of choice is vitamin E oil, and that's why I don't worry about my comfrey oil going rancid this fast. And this is a half a gallon jar. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons in. And I use for the second straining, this is, Tammy, I wanted to show you, this is what I was talking about, a filterless coffee filter. This is one of those that you don't have to use paper filters with. It strains out small stuff wonderfully. I use it for tinctures, and I also use it for when I'm making oils like this. And they're simple and easy to get a hold of. This is one style, which I've got to get another one. I see I've got a couple little holes. This is one style, or you can get the flat bottom one. And that will catch all the small particles that's missed. Let's see, I'm gonna have to get another jar out, and you just make sure that the vitamin E oil gets mixed in there real well. And of course I'll fill the jar up because you do not want much air at all in your jars. And of course right now I'm gonna go ahead and do it while I can, while I'm thinking about it. Comfrey olive oil. And this is 1021. Simple and easy, and I will bring you back as soon as I'm done straining it all. I'll see you back here in a bit. Okay, I am done. I have a half a gallon and a quart, and by the time I get through mashing this and squeezing it, I should get at least another pint jar. But look how beautiful and dark, healthy this is. Now what I plan on doing at a future date, when I can get a hold of the tins, I want to make Comfrey salve, and with the other oils that I'll be making salve as well at a later date. I have everything but the tins to make the salve, but all in due time it will happen. But see how simple and easy anyone can make Comfrey oil. A lot will disagree with the way that I make it, but that's okay, that's their choice. I choose to do it my way, the old way of doing it. Simple, easy, anybody can do this as long as you have the plant material, you have the oil, and you have the time to do it. And it's a wonderful, wonderful healing medicinal oil for wounds, scrapes, bug bites, rashes, sprains, pains, you name it. It's also a wonderful inflammation and pain reliever externally. Simple, easy, anybody can do this. You just have to believe in yourself and have the want to do it. Well, I look forward to seeing you in my next video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to answer them and try to help as much as I can. Everyone take care, have a wonderful day, and may you each be blessed. See you in my next video.